What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a preview for a bunch of content this week, and we're going to go more in depth with a handful of different elements that you guys might be interested in, including reward buffs for certain drops in the game, of course new quests that are coming out this week, but also the availability of the Super Black shader for the first time. On top of that though, we've got more information about Pantheon, some of the specific rewards and quest unlocks this week, as well as another Archie quest that will be getting a reset as well, as it is going to be one of the busier weeks in the Into the Light content drop I suppose, so I hope you find the video useful today. As always, if you do, a rating below really does help us out on the channel, but now let's get into it. The first thing to mention is that Iron Banner is rolling around, I believe, for the very final time inside of Season 23, so next time Iron Banner comes back will be in the final shape. And in terms of two of the newer weapon drops that Bungie added for Iron Banner this season, there is the Tusk of the Boar grenade launcher, which has some pretty good rolls on it, and the Multimax CCX, which Bungie brought back from previous Iron Banners. The extra thing to note for this week though, as well as it being the final time that they'll drop before final shape, but Bungie did say in a recent patch that they've increased the drop rates for Tusk of the Boar and Multimax CCX, and this is the first event where that will actually be active, so kind of a catch-up mechanic given that these weapons were added later in a season. So there's the Iron Banner component, but we do actually get another game update with Reset, and Bungie have said we've got a change going live on April 30th with how special ammo meter functions, and right now the system is difficult to understand between modes, and there's a dramatic difference in the amount of ammo earned depending on a player's performance, which strongly favours a limited selection of weapons. So they say we'll be reducing the number of mode-specific meter variants to 1 for respawn modes and 1 for elimination modes, but they're also reducing the amount of ammo rewarded per transmat from 2 kills worth to 1, and the meter will now charge slightly more than twice as fast. Then they're removing ability kills contributions towards the meter to reduce the advantage that shotgun melee combo has over other special weapons for progressing the meter, and to increase the focus on primary ammo weapons for earning special ammo. And so those are the additional changes coming in the update today. There'll probably be some other patch notes and I'll keep you posted with them with the vendor video, but Bungie do add they'll have more details from the PvP strike team coming in this week's twit, so the conversation is bound to continue and no doubt we'll get more changes down the road. Otherwise though, one of the quicker mentions, because we've already covered it, but of course Blast Furnace and Luna's Howl are available this week. So initially there'll be the quests for them at our site and then we'll be able to go ahead and attune for them and farm away. I do have a separate video that's got all of the perk rolls for those weapons if you want to check it out, so I'll link that below, but those are the last Brave weapons to be introduced, and it gives us a little over a month until final shape drops to continue farming for any shiny versions of the weapons we want to pick up, so there's certainly time left, and it's cool to have the entire loot pool available, but given that that's happened, Super Black will also become available this week, so as a lot of you guys will know, that requires max rank on Lord Shaxx, as well as the completion of all of our site's weekly weapon quests, and as of Reset tomorrow, both of those things will be possible, and we'll be able to unlock the secret room that's been at the back of the hall right here behind Shaxx. So from there we'll get Super Black, which in itself will be pretty cool. Potentially there'll be other secrets or lore associated with it as well. The only component for Into the Light that we won't be able to get tomorrow is the Brave title, and I think that's because one of the triumphs requires 0 hour. Some folks in the comment section believe that 0 hour is going to drop this week, but that one is reserved until May 14th, so a couple of weeks left until we can get access to that. One of the really big things dropping this week though is Pantheon, and this is Bungie's new raid challenge. We'll talk about some quest things in a moment, but Bungie have said that this will increase in scale and difficulty each week, starting with 4 bosses in the first run and growing up to 8 in a row on May 21st. Every time a boss is added, the active modifiers will rotate and the power cap will change, until ultimately we're at 20 power below each of the encounters. But as the difficulty goes up, so will the pool of rewards, and they've said we can get adept raid weapons, deep side versions of them, and exotic weapons from the raid, and some of the rewards are weekly, while others are linked to pursuits or triumphs like 4 of the new emblems. Although many will also depend on performance, and they say we challenge you to complete each encounter before the bonus timer expires to get a platinum score, which unlocks the greatest rewards. This is going to be very interesting. The intro quest though for this will actually be at Lord Shaxx, and from what we can see in the database, this is called Divine Weaponry, and it says complete the Pantheon on any difficulty, with more difficulties unlocking over time, but before exiting the Pantheon, claim an exotic weapon from our site 9940. So successful completions are going to unlock this raid exotic selection. I'm not sure if we'll be able to choose any of them in this first week. It's possible that they're going to roll out over time as options to actually pick up. That certainly seems likely, given that newer exotics like Conditional Finality are later on in the rotation. But our site will also have raid vendor collections which give access to armor pieces and weapons from all of the raids featured, and there'll be purchase options for those via Spoils of Conquest. There are a few questions we have about exactly what the rollout will be here, but in terms of the raids that are featured at a given time, access to the rewards from them does seem to be pretty comprehensive with a lot of options, so that'll be pretty cool. And given that Bungie said the first week will consist of 4 bosses, and that the first Triumph lists Golgoroth, the Caretaker, Macrocosm, and Atrax 1 as the targets, it looks like we will get access to the Atrax Dethroned emblem this week. That's also one of the triumphs required for the title, and all of that will be visible in game as of tomorrow. So for the raiders out there, I think folks will be having a lot of fun with this. Certainly a lot of the emblems are very cool, so let us know if you'll be diving in. The final thing to mention though, and we'll be getting another Archie quest, so similar to the hunt we had last week in the tower, there'll be a new objective this week. There are a bunch of destinations featured, and if the order that they're listed in is to be believed, according to the database, then we should get the Cosmodrome one this week. I would take that with a pinch of salt, although it seems pretty likely. And the Cosmodrome steps include speaking to Shorhan in the Cosmodrome, of course at the spawn for the steps. And beyond that, it says Archie heard rumors about a cave full of loot, so that will be at the loot cave location that we can find at the Skywatch. Skywatch has a fast travel point, so that should be pretty easy. Then step 3 is that Archie wanted to scope out the complex where we held off the Hive and re-established communication with lost colonies across the system. I'm pretty sure that this will be in the terrestrial complex, where the last array mission was featured in Destiny 1. That's easy to get to from Skywatch. The other possibility is in the lunar complex. As step 4 says, Archie heard about a place where freshly risen Guardians used to sneak past danger to hang out in front of an old bunker door beyond the shores. So heading in the direction of the terrestrial complex, we get to the Forgotten Shore, and from there we can follow along the coast up to where Rasputin's bunker is, and presumably that is the old bunker door. Then step 5, which is Archie's last stop, and he wanted to find a ship of his own to take back to the last city. Given the references to the Destiny 1 campaign, I would assume that this last stop will be Dock 13, which is the indoor section immediately next to Shorhan. And of course in Destiny 1, that's where we got our first ship and safely travelled back to the last city, so seems like that'll probably be the bulk of the quest right there. But I'll keep you posted if there are any intricacies involved, which are considerably different to what we've covered right here. For today though guys, there we go, just a quick shout for some of the extra bits this week. Of course we touched on some of these items loosely in the reset video, but there are a few intricate elements for this week, so I hope the recap has been useful. Let us know what you'll be jumping in and doing first this reset. If you've enjoyed the video though, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Also be sure to get subscribed if you want to be kept up to date with Destiny, and otherwise, I hope you guys have an awesome day.